The Lotus 49 Grand Prix legends once again go a different way to every other series and will roar around the Charlotte Roval with the physics-defying old chicane. Will we see people taking too much risk thrown good through it, or will everybody play it safe? A tough question to answer, but it might just be that he who wants to be first must take the risk every single lap. So buckle up, get some popcorn, grab your GSRC bingo card and join us today as we're ready to watch round 5 of the Grand Prix Legends series live on the Global SimRacing Channel via the iRacing eSports Network. The crew to give you all these stats and storylines today will be Ryan Walker, joining myself, Stefan Schlacher. Turning the knobs and pushing the buttons behind the scenes, our director Sean Regis Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by the great Dougie Beard. Existing since 1971, the Charlotte Roval never really saw anything larger than a minor national series. Until 2018, that is. Now though, let's head trackside to understand what makes the Charlotte Roval go round.
Welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Until a few years ago, most race fans probably didn't know that this track had a road course layout. Thanks to a huge revamp to prepare for NASCAR to race on it, the Roval is now a top-tier facility. Situated in the northeast corner of Charlotte, North Carolina, there's a whopping 6 different road course layouts. They range from just under a mile to a little over 2 miles in length. Like most Rovals, the high-speed banking on the oval portion makes up the majority of the lap length. However, one unique feature that isn't often seen on other Rovals is that this track includes a decent amount of elevation change. Passing is often difficult, and the 2 chicanes on the oval portion are notorious for their unforgiving curbing. Lesser-powered cars find overtakes a bit easier with the slipstream on the banking, but anything with some oomph is going to have to work very hard to get by their rivals. If anything, attrition often rears its ugly head, and simply keeping the car pointed forward and clean will net you a good finish. While the debate rages on among gearheads on whether oval cars should race here, one thing is for sure, it provides some wild action and almost never disappoints the fans in the stands.
Joe Peak doing what nobody can do better, talking your lap around the Charlotte circuit, the full one, not only the Roval, but it's all history included. Now though, are you looking to take advantage of GSRC over 1 million global monthly impressions? From official series, sponsorships to commercial placements, we have advertising opportunities of options customizable to suit your company's needs. Follow the link in the description to learn more. Ryan, we have heard a little bit of the history of this place existing since 1971, the Roval at least. What else can you add to those details?
Yeah, this fantastic 17-tier track is located close to the city of Concord, North Carolina, and has hosted a whole range of real-life series from the American Le Mans series to the NASCAR series. Recently, once has visited this Roval, you could call it, and has produced some fantastic action. And today it will be host to round 5 of the Grand Prix Legends series. And one of the big corners that would be worth trying to make a move around or into is turn 1, and in that middle section, drivers are going to have to be careful. So, and also the track is 2.28 miles in length, or 3.67 kilometers if you prefer using that. And today I think we're going to be in for a pretty interesting race.
Yeah, should be extremely interesting here, those 2.28 miles. We have a few drivers today. It is in total 25 that have showed up, so the spot 24 most definitely has taken a little bit of a toll there on the signups, but it might also be the unpopular Charlotte Roval, Ryan.
Yep, absolutely. And it should be interesting to see what kind of strategy these guys go with. But I think the championship standing, Steph, it looks pretty interesting at the moment. In the main championship for the F1 drivers.
Yeah, we should be seeing there probably some changes, but let's actually give you the numbers there. We have Rob Olenek still in first place for the F1 Championship, 155 points to his name, with Ovid Trengray sitting in second place, a little bit behind him, only 4 points. That's Sebastian Tixier. So it should be really interesting. And then only 6 points behind him, that's the Italian Nicola Cocci, with Peter Mikus sitting in fifth place. They're 41 points behind. The Slovakian most definitely looking to up that position as fast as he can. Ryan, how are we looking in the F2 Championship? Because Antti Kerinen, he is most definitely the most dominant person in that F2 Championship.
Yeah, the Finnish driver has been having a great season so far, and he's been rewarded for that with leading the F2 Championship. But David Rossi is only 42 points behind him, and then rounding out the top three is Germany's Eric Luckel, who's keeping in touch with both drivers, so that the top three still real close together. And then Pekka Risto, another Finnish driver, is in fourth place, 75 points further back. Andre Eng rounds out the top five, or is basically joint fourth with 40 points.
Yeah, just to give you a little bit of a perspective there on Antti Kerinen, he is right now 4 points ahead of Peter Mikus. So if we would put him into the F1 Drivers' Championship, he would actually take over that fifth place from the Slovakian. That's how good his running in the early stages of this season thus far has been. Looking over to the Nations Cup that we also keep track of, like they did in the old days when the Lowe's 49 still ran. The United States is first place, tied with the United Kingdom, so they are united once again in the first place. Italy in third with 149 points to the name, with Norway in fourth, 137 points, and then Finland, that is once again Antti Kerinen taking home all the points there, in fifth place, 118 there, obviously, with just him racing for Finland. Ryan, the race details might also be very interesting with that stop and go penalty.
It could be. This is the fifth round of the season, and it's hard to believe we're already in 5 rounds into the season. It's gone by pretty quickly. Today it will be 26 laps around this Roval, and the setups as always are open, so you're free to make any changes. And the incidents are, as always, as 17x, it will be a penalty, and if you get to 25 or over, you'll be automatically disqualified from the race.
Let's not forget, you, as always, are watching this series live on the iRacing Esports Network. Make sure to like and especially subscribe if you haven't done so yet, to not miss another second of exciting racing action. If you also want to keep track of your most favorite driver racing here today in this 25 driver field, you can most definitely do that quite easily if you head over to gsrc.tv. That is our official timing and scoring page. So you can most definitely easily keep track of everybody on the circuit today. While we have completed our pre-race show here, pretty much, they have also already done all of their qualifying in the background, which means Nicola Cocci is in first place, a whopping 2/10 ahead of our F2 Championship driver Antti Kerinen. And I think by this point we most definitely can call Antti Kerinen an F1 driver, because he's too fast for F2.
Yeah, absolutely. And quite surprised to see Antti up there, but this season so far he's proven to be pretty consistent and on the pace, as Sebastian Tixier is coming around the final couple of corners to complete his qualifying lap, but it looks to be a slow one.
Yeah, so there were people once again out on the track. Rob Olenek, he did wait a little bit for his lap times. Mick Kletch still hasn't driven his laps. He is still in the pit box as well. As Dave Cohen comes around the last few corners, that is going to be interesting for him. He's right now sitting without a lap time. He is putting in a 1:14.9, puts him into 17th place. Rob Olenek, he is once again back to the pit lane. Once again, no lap time for him. So that is going to be interesting. And I don't think we really have anyone right now on track that even can complete a lap now. We still have Tixier riding around, but he already has done his 2 laps. Andrew Eng as well. Chris Murakami, same thing for him. So yeah, we will have Rob Olenek starting from 23rd on the grid. Mick Ledge will line up in 22nd on the grid, as well as Reggie Jensen and Robert Reynolds. They will start from the last row of the grid. So that is going to be extremely interesting with Rob and Mick.
Absolutely, I think it should be. It's going to make an interesting race, and yep, I think we're about to move to the race session soon, so we'll take you through the grid.
Yeah, Nicola Kochi will head this race into turn 1, hopefully, for him with a 1:11.218 to his name. To Karen in second place, 2/10, nearly 3/10 behind him already in second place. Bill Tyler, the third car on the grid, and already the last car who was able to put in a lap time faster than a 1:12 lap, with Pekka Risto in fourth place, Gary Teal fifth place on the grid, and he is the last car to be roughly within 1 second of Nicola Kochi. That is how big that skill gap right now here is at the Charlotte Roval. Colin Bentley, 6th place for him, with David Rossi in 7th, Alessandro Parisi in 8th, Emmanuel Pereira in 9th, and running out to top 10 is Sebastian Tixier.
Starting in 11th is Eric Luco, alongside him is Jan Lehman, 13th is John Van Dorn, Chris Murakami in 14th, and 15th is Andreas Bruno, with Donald Peake in 16th, 17th is Dave Golan, 18th is Andrew N, Trent Bougie in 19th, and rounding out the grid right at the top 20 rather is Gary Anderson.
21st went to Thierry Rousselet. He's also the last car to put in a qualifying lap. And then, as already said, Mick Ledge will be landing in 22nd, Rob Odnick 23rd, Robert Reynolds, he will be in 24th, and the 24th of Reggie Jensen, he will be landing up in last and 25th. As the engines are starting to harmonize, we are getting ready for the green flag. Antti Kärinen, will be he able to take away that first place? He's getting lots of wheel spin there. It's a good start for Nicola Kochi, but an even better start for Pekka Risto, who tries to attack into turn 1, but is not able to get anything from there. Actually has to be backed up there a little bit. Bill Tyler nearly gets a chance to get into him. We have a little bit of too wide action in behind, and there was a big wreck in turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like.
Another driver, Emmanuel Pereira, goes wide through turn 4. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just going to say, it looked like it was a N and I'm not sure who else it was, but there was just mayhem at the back. But up at the front, it's I don't want to jinx it, but so far it's been good.
So far it has been very good indeed. Good news is Mick Ledge and Rob Olenek both were able to get quite nicely through that. Mick Ledge already up a lot of positions, just overtook 15th place, so he has put in a belt of a lap. First time through the fast chicane, Mick Ledge with a little bit of issues. He's able to keep it all together, as has everybody around him been able to. Seems like everybody has survived the fast chicane for the very first time.
As they come across the line to complete the first lap, but it's still Nicola Kochi currently in the lead, but second place, and still keeping in touch with him is Finland's Antti Kärinen as well, and rounding out the top 3 is Bill Tyler.
Mick Ledge already up to 11th place, has just overtaken Chris Murakami for that position through turn number 1, so he is most definitely on the charge. Meanwhile, we have Rob Olenek only in 17th place, so very much different approaches to these races so far for them. Nicola Kochi still leads away with Antti Kärinen following about second in the draft of the Italian. Bill Tyler still in he is now in 3rd place, actually has overtaken Pekka Risto in lap number 1, who is starting to struggle a little bit with the exit there back onto the oval.
As they come up to the fast chicane again, and as they start to come through, and just watching the cars getting a bit sketchy through there is fun, but on the other hand, it's scary to watch at the same time.
Oh, Parisi, really lucky. He clattered the outside curb there. Sausage curb, took a wheelie, but he is driving on. And I actually take you to the replay there to show off those skills of Alessandro Parisi.
That was fair to say he had a fun ride over that sausage curve.
Sebastian Tixier is now struggling to keep Parisi in behind. He's most definitely trying to be the fast one here. Has a little bit of slide through turn 3. In behind that, sorry, Mick Lynch overtaking Eric Luca for 9th place as Tixier, oh, big slide into the grass, able to save his car. And now Parisi has Klech in behind. Let's have a look how that is going to play out. Oh, Parisi nearly into the back of Tixier. This is going to really give up the chance for Claridge. As Klech lines up here, turn number 9. Oh, there has been a wreck ahead. Colin Bentley out of the race. He was in 5th place. So that is going to move Mikelec up to 8th place. Let's see if he's trying to take away 7th here from Parisi already. Side by side into the fast chicane. Parisi is not trying to take that as Mikelec takes away.
Yeah, just look at the replay of Bentley as well. He was well offline on the exit, heading onto the oval part, and just went offline and just might have just lost some grip, and unfortunately he only had a one-way ticket into the wall.
Pecaristo had a crash as well through the fast chicane. He spun out hard into the outside wall. That also happened right ahead of all the battle that Mikelec was keeping. Actually, that was a really lucky save from Risto. He didn't touch the outside wall, but nearly went over. So lots happening while we were there on the replay. Murakami just overtook David Rossi with a mistake from David Rossi through turn number 3. Just extremely sideways, was able to save the car and lost the position to Chris Murakami.
I'm just looking at Oh, sorry, Steph.
Yeah, no, just want to say Mick Ledge now up to 6th place with Rob Olenek up to 13th place. So Rob Olenek really struggling to get through the field like Mick Ledge has been able to.
Yeah, Mick Claridge has just been absolutely. He's being on a stormer of a recovery at the moment, and already up into piece is Eric Lucas has binned it.
Yeah. Eric Luke, as you said, that was actually also through the fast chicane run.
Yeah, it looks like he might have just carried either too much speed or just again, like Parigi just clattered that. Actually,
whoa! He actually turned in way too early for that. Right over the middle of the sausage cup there. That was never going to end any other way than with quite some heavy impact.
As a back up at the front, it's the leader still Nicola Coach at the moment, and he's actually just built up a reasonably good gap as well to about 1.5 seconds, and just having a great race at the moment.
Yeah, 1.8 seconds the gap is right now between Nicola and Antti Kerinen, with Bill Tyler having the same gap up to Kerinen as well, so the top 3 covered by 3.9 seconds. With 4th place, Gary Chill, 6.5 seconds behind Bill Tyler, who is actually being followed by Mick Klech. So Klech, looking already up to P number 4, has overtaken Sebastian Tixier already in this lap. And look at that, he has to lift Gary Chill. That gives the opportunity to make Klech. Oh, he's looking for it. He's seeking that trouble. He is able to keep everything clean though, and now has the power to go into turn 1. Already ahead of Gary Thiel, and most definitely that is 4th place for the number 1.
That was a fantastic move by Mickey. He set that up on the exit of the final chicane and just managed to get the move done heading down to turn 1. And Mick Claridge, the way it's going at the moment, don't rule him out of finishing on the podium, or even better, if he keeps his pace up, possibly winning this race.
7.9 seconds the gap is up to 3rd place Bill Tyler. So it is not out of the question if he can catch him, but it is going to be a tough ask if I'm on. Looking back to Sebastian Tixier, who is still right behind Gary Thiel, but he's also bringing Alessandro Parisi with him. 6/10 is separating him from Tixier, and it seems like Gary Thiel is struggling a little bit, or maybe he's just taking that super easy route.
Quite possibly. I mean, some people don't like to take any risks through that fast chicane. They just like to try and just not take it easy, but just be a little bit cautious. But yeah, he seems to be struggling at the moment. Maybe it's the track temperatures are not suiting his setup at the moment.
Oh, very, very interesting, that difference there between Tixier and Gary Thiel. I think that Gary G is also struggling a little bit because can we please have the weather on our screens because it is scorching hot, 50 degrees Celsius on the track.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure. I think that's the hottest we've had, the hottest track temperature we've had this season so far. So yeah, that's it's no surprise that Theo might be struggling with that, but he just doesn't seem to be. Oh, as he gets sideways onto the Roval section.
Wow! How did he save that? That was a glorious save there from Tixier. Obviously puts himself a little bit on back foot there, but it seems like Prix is not able to take any advantage from that. By the way, I have talked a little bit that we might see a bit of attrition here this afternoon. We have seen it's only 15 drivers that still remain on track, so that means 15 drivers are already retired out of this race or are right now standing in the pit box. Terry Rousselet, he has outbraked himself through the last chicane. He's standing right there right now on the exit. As Dave Cohen, once again, a problem for him. Seems like we have lost him for good as he is riding right now on the apron without a front of his car.
I'm just looking through the field as well to see if there's anything else going on, and nothing really going on.
Parisi! Parisi and Tixier, they collided. Parisi does a little bit of a trick over the nose of Tixier, and I would nearly say there was a little bit of netcode involved there.
It's possible, but just look at the replay to see what happened, and it looks like Parigi might have just, or I don't know. I don't like to put the blame on anyone. I think that's just one of those. Parigi just maybe carried too much.
Oh, he just wrecked very hard Parigi on the backstretch of the Charlotte Roval. I think he had quite some damage there. But yeah, he just lost the rear of his car out of NASCAR Turn 2 and then completely wrecked it. Also, Gary Anderson, he is in pit lane. That means that we now have only, 13 drivers remaining on track. So this field is thinning out rather.
Yep, Charlotte Roval. Yeah, Charlotte Roval. I should say it's basically a Roval because that's what all the NASCAR fans call it. So yeah, I'll go with that. But yeah, it's claiming loads of victims today, and it's been a bit of a trusting fest, you could say.
Oh, another car has spun out of turn 1. That is Rob Olenek! Wrecked out of turn 1. What happened to him? Just a spin into the outside wall. So let's have a look there, Ryan.
So just rider on board with him heading down to turn 1, and it looks like just watching his steering. I don't know if he got broken steering well before this accident, or if he just tried to get on the power and just lost it on a little bump on the exit, and he just looked it round into the wall, and yeah, it's not been a good day for Rob. Well, Mick Claridge is up there having a whale of a time.
Yeah, he doesn't look very round. Going into that corner anyway, so very interesting. Going back to P number 6, the Chris Murakami is leading a train ahead of Sebastian Tixier and Pekka Risto. So Risto making his way up after his spin from P number 4. Very interesting battle there. Oh, a little bit of a mistake from Murakami, bottles up Tixier as well, but not able to take advantage of that. And he's spinning around. They come together. Be careful with the rejoin. That was David Rossi coming there. Now Pekka Risto is slow. Why is Pekka Risto slow? Did he also spin out with that? Yeah, he kind of spun out there. So Pekka Risto is once again behind David Rossi. And Rossi now in 7th place.
Rossi having a great run as well. Yeah, just been keeping out of trouble and just going about his business, and been a bit of a quiet race for Rossi, but at the moment, due to attrition, he's in the top 10 and just all by himself.
We have regained a few cars, 3 in total. Andrew Eng in 13th place, Then we have Trent Bus also racing. He's right now in 17th. And John Van Doorn, he's right now in 20th. So we have now upped our field to 15 drivers once again. 12 of those are still racing somewhat competitively, with Thierry Rousselet 1 lap down to 11. Let's have a look though back onto the storming Mick Cledge sitting in 4th place. It is a little bit of an interesting situation. He is gaining on Bill Teller, but how does it look compared to Nicola Kochi?
So it looks like Claridge is at the moment he seems to be maybe slightly quicker than Kochi, or around about the same pace, but Kochi's just up there, just maintaining the pace, just maintaining the gap to Kranen behind him. So Kochi doesn't have to do anything, and they all going well. Hopefully I don't jinx him, but all going well. We should hold on and hope they possibly or hopefully take the win in this race, because it's been a bit of a. There's no one really been challenging Nicola, to be honest.
Yeah. Quick calculation tells us that at this point of time, Mick won't catch Kochi in time to get that first place away. I would even say that it would be very close with Antti Kerronen if he would even be able to do that. Mick is starting to struggle himself a little bit as well, as the track temperature has gained another degree Celsius, so we're up to 51 degrees Celsius. And it's only getting hotter because we are at 12:30 in the afternoon. So until 3 p.m. the temperature rises, and I'm expecting the track to gain maybe 1 or 2 degrees more until the end of this race. We're right now on lap 12, starting lap 13 of this 26 lap race. Looking a little bit through the field, who are our main gainers in this race except for Mick Cledge? Taking him out of that equation, it seems like Chris Murakami has been the one to gain the most, from 14th up to 6th place. He is also starting to gap David Rossi a little bit, 2.5 seconds that gap is now, but he himself already 10.3 seconds behind 5th place Gary Teal.
Yep, there's been pretty much a few people at the back that have managed to gain loads of positions, but I have to say, Steph, it's been a bit of this race has been. I was just watching Nicola Kochi through the fast chicane. I thought he was going to lose it there for a minute because he clipped one of the big curbs.
Oh, and Rob Olenek has disconnected from the race. So he is not going to get any points from here. That's very interesting in the championship. I'm seeing him before his exit. He did already not have a nose cone because he spun once again through turn 1. So Rob Olenek very much was struggling with this race here today, and he is not going to be able to finish it. Mick Cledge, he is most definitely catching. It's only 1 second now between himself and Bill Tyler, so Bill Tyler probably had an issue somewhere around the track because he lost a lot the last lap.
Yeah, Claridge has been absolutely on it for since he got up into the top 6. He's just been put basically a hot lapping the whole way, and they managed to close that gap down to Tyler. And I think it's just a matter of time before Claridge takes up position and is on to the podium.
Actually, it wasn't so much Bill Tyler having an issue. He just is dropping on pace like you would in a normal race, but Mick Cledge just that much faster. Last 2 laps at 11.5, 11.6, 2 seconds per lap faster than the car ahead of him. So Bill Tyler, I think it's time for him to lose that 3rd place, sadly. Mick Cledge just that much faster. Let's have a look here. Mick Cledge through the last chicane. Starting lap number 15, turn 1. Where is he going to take that one? A little bit too deep for Bill Tyler. That gives a good setup for Mick Cledge, but it is turn 2 that coming up right here. And turn 3 and 4, not really an overtaking opportunity. Maybe he's gonna set up turn 4 or turn 5 here. Let's have a look. Oh, he's getting good exit there over Tyler ahead of him. He's side by side heading into turn 5, but he's thinking better of it. No, Bill Tyler makes a big mistake there on the outside, and Mick Cledge takes away P number 3 Now from Bill Tyler, that moves to number 6, back to 4th. And I don't think he's going to lose many more positions than that.
Yeah, I think Tyler didn't want to make too much of an issue of it, and Claridge up into the top 3. As I believe someone's in the pits. Tyler, by the looks of it.
It is David Rossi in the pit
David
lane.
Rossi, sorry.
He is crabbing, so he must have had some wall contact. Gonna have a look back. Already happened a while ago. So, yeah, it happened. It happened on lap number 13 in the exit last chicane, where he just lost it on the downshift and tried to boost upside down. I think he didn't make it through the fast chicane there. The way that is looking. So 1 lap, we lost 2 cars, trying to bus and David Rossi out of this race, which brings up the total number of cars still running to 13 once again. Nicola Kochi leading 6.5 seconds ahead of Antti Kerinen. 3.5 seconds more back to Mikkelaj. That makes the whole total 10 seconds between Nicola Kochi and Mikkelaj. So in all that time that Mikkelaj has been running in free air, he only gained about a second to Nicola Kochi since the last time we looked. So pretty much I would say that Mikkelaj is not going to catch Nicola Kochi here today. Antti Kerinen, though, he might be quite easily catchable for Mikkelaj. 3.3 seconds the gap is, and Mikkelaj is running about 6/10 of a lap faster than Kerinen.
Yep, I wouldn't rule Mick out of Katz and Antti at the moment. They've got under just under 10 laps remaining, so can Mick close the gap to Antti? It's a big ask, but it's yeah, it's possible.
The action most definitely has died down a little bit here with the high attrition rate we have seen. Unsurprisingly, a lot of people did crash out. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting what Mikkelaj can do in these remaining laps here. Lap 17 of 26, we're starting lap 2018 in just a few moments for Mikkelaj. And you can see that he is most definitely pushing. He's pushing the boundaries of what his car can do and what it offers grip-wise with the 51 degrees Celsius on the track. Kerinen, he is looking a little bit more safe. I mean, he is really not in this F1 championship battle whatsoever, so he can afford losing that second place. But it would be quite a thing for him to get that second place. Looking back at another Finn, that's Pekka Risto catching Chris Murakami. And I think that is going to be quite a quick meal here as well for Risto. Just looking at the way he is attacking Murakami through turn 1.
Yeah, Risto seems to be the quicker driver out of these two at the moment. And I think Murakami just doesn't seem to have the pace like Risto at the moment, and it's only a matter of time before Risto gets by Murakami. And I think if he gets a good run onto the Roval section, heading up to the fast chicane, I think he could possibly get the move done.
We once again have 16 drivers on the field, on the circuit here once again. So a few more drivers have driven out of their pit stall after much needed repairs. The longest one to take that repair was actually Donald Peak. 16 minutes he was in pit lane. Or rather in his pit stall, as Pekka Risto makes the move for Chris Murakami and gets easily past. Very well done. I nearly would say that Chris Murakami actually did lift a little bit. Most definitely it did look like Chris Murakami did lift a little bit. As Mikkelaj, Ryan, continuing to catch Antti Kerinen.
He's closing that gap down they quickly, or not super quick, but he's closing the gap down for sure. And I think Mick Claridge could get second position, and if he does get second position, I think it'll be an amazing drive. And Mick, fair play to him. He didn't have a. I don't know if he messed up qualifying or not, but he's had a great race so far, coming from the back to be in the top three at the moment, and it'll be even better if he finishes in second place.
Nicola Kochi is starting to struggle a little bit. The gap has now closed down to 6.6 seconds between Claridge and Kochi. Last two laps were 13 and 12 now, while Mick Claridge continues to drive 1 minute 11 lap times. So he is catching, but will it be enough? That is the question. He, at this point, needs to be over a second a lap faster than Nicola Kochi to be able to catch him for the chance to win.
And Mick Claridge is right behind the second place car of Antti-Kaarinen, and yeah, as Mick gets a great run onto the Roval section, and he gets a great slipstream while he try and make a move into the fast chicane. I don't think he's close enough, and oddly, Mick pulling out of the slipstream.
He is setting that last chicane up. Look at it. He is really close now, and he's getting a little bit better on the throttle. Now we have seen he's able to keep the foot longer in turn 4. Actually, Antti-Kaarinen, he is also able to quite long keep that foot in. So Mick Claridge only able to get closer on the brakes, but not able to overtake him yet. It seems like he has found a worthy opponent for the battle. For second place, Antti-Kaarinen still inheriting that place, but for how much longer will he be able to keep hold on that position? As once again Mick Claridge tries to go to the inside, has to brake earlier though, and thus Kaarinen continues in second place. The Finn looks a little bit stronger right now with Mick Claridge going a little bit sideways. 49 degrees Celsius the track temperature is right now with the cloud coverage we're experiencing. The track has started to cool off a little bit, probably helping Kaarinen right now, as Mick Claridge felt very comfortable in the hot conditions that we have already seen. Interesting line there from Claridge, goes very high up to dive down, but it's really not helping him for this fast chicane. Let's have a look. How much is he taking the sausage cups? Very much that is, and look at the speed he's carrying. He's going to the outside here. That's not going to be the preferable line right now, but it's setting him up very nicely for the exit here. Look at that. He's right now side by side. A little bit of a slide for Kaarinen. He's missing the chicane. Both of them are. Kaarinen spins out that second place for Claridge.
As the replay's coming up on screen now, riding on board of Kaarinen, and he just lost it in the chicane, and he was so close to taking Claridge out as well, but managed to just avoid him.
Meanwhile, that was going on Pekka Risto. He retired from the race. Seems like a brake issue there, as he stepped on the brake, his car just snapped right on him. It's a very unusual incident there for him as well. Might have also been a little bit hardware related, but that means one car driving around.
Does indeed, and Mick Claridge up into second place, and all by himself now, but I don't think he's going to have time to try and close the gap down to the leader, Kochi.
Still is 6.5 seconds.
Yeah, as Kochi's, I have to say, if I was voting for a driver of the day, I would have to go to Kochi, but Claridge would have to win it for me, because just where he started, and he's put in a great drive from the back.
We still have, by the way, 16 drivers remaining in this race. So yeah, very interesting to see all of them still continuing after they had a very big repairs. Most of them well over 10 minutes of repair time. Mick Claridge, lap number 23 of 26, 4 laps to go. It's still now, or rather it now is 7 seconds, so it seems like Claridge, after overtaking Antti-Kaarinen, realizing he's not going to be able to catch Kochi, and is now playing it a little bit safe, it seems.
Yes, indeed, and but it seems to have all settled down now, and there's been mixed reviews about this Charlotte Roval. Some people seem to like it, some people don't. but it's one of those tracks that seems to come up with shocks, and there's been several shocks, but on the other hand, I think it's been great.
And Drew Eng, the first car to be involved in a crash, but he kept on swimming, and he is now up to 11th place, actually sorry, 9th place as he crossed the start-finish line. He's going to be updating next lap there. He is 2 laps down on the next car, that's Janne Lima, but yeah, Andrew Eng, very much the door reward goes to him.
Yep, and it looks like he's in the pits for 2.5 minutes as well, so done a good job to get back out on track and just keep doing laps and yeah, finish the race, and you'll get some points.
Lap number 24 we are seeing right now. Just 2 more laps to go at the end of this one. Nicola Kochi seems uncatchable for Mikulash. The gap still is 5.9 seconds. At this point in time, he would need to be 3 seconds faster per lap to catch Nicola Kochi. And I think, Ryan, that is a little bit out of question.
As I think Mick will be pretty happy with second place. I mean, it's not a win, but it's still a great drive for where he started. And Kochi has pretty much just kept it clean and just kept it consistent, and all going well with about probably just about 1 or 2 laps to go. He'll hopefully hold on and take the win.
We shall see about that one. Don't want to jinx anyone, but we are on the second last lap of the race. Nicola Kochi continues to drive through NASCAR Turn 1 and to now the backstretch. It's going to be the fast chicane for the second last time. Able to nicely maneuver his car through it. Same with Nick Cledge. Mauricio, that's a little bit of a wide exit there. Jumps over the sausage cups, but keeps it all together. Nicola Kochi, I don't remember how many points he was behind going into this. Was about 30 points behind Robotnik. Robotnik obviously making no points. Might actually see Nicola Kochi take over the championship lead after this race, if I got the points correctly in my head. Which I think it's 50 points for a win, or 40. But Nicola Kochi, most definitely, I think he will take over the points lead after this one, as he is maneuvering his way back onto the Charlotte Oval. Just a few more corners to go, and he is going to be the winner of this race, which is also going to be his first win of the season. Nicola Kochi, the Italian, once again through the fast chicane. He's able to take that very nicely. Takes a little bit safe, but he really does need to go for anything particular here anymore. Nicola Kochi, just 2 more corners to go, and he is going to be your winner here today of the Charlotte Roval. Nicola Kochi, 6th race it took him to take home the checkered flag for the very first time, with Mick Cledge taking home a 2nd place from 20th on the grid.
Yep, and rounding at the podium, coming across the line will be Antti Karinen. A great job to finish in the top 3.
A few more cars still have to trickle here over the start-finish line. Next in a line, that is going to be Gary Thiel, who's coming over it. 5th place for him. Going to be about 38 seconds behind Nicola Kochi in the end. Chris Murakami, he is now making his way through the backstretch chicane. Tells you how much he had up to Gary Thiel, 23 seconds. It's going to be at the very end, it seems like. But still, a 6th place from 14th.
Yeah, it was a great job from Murakami, and the Tixier finishing in 7th, and then the rest of the results is pretty a big shock, put that way.
with all of that done, the racing might be over in North Carolina, but the show is far from done. We're going to step aside for just a few moments to take a breather, but we will be quickly back for the post-race show where we will run you down the unofficial finishing order, talk to some of the drivers, and close off an eventful race. So don't step away too far, as GSRC will be back after these messages. We welcome you all back to the Grand Prix Legends post-race show streaming to your home on the Global SimRacing Channel via the iRacing eSports network. And it was a rather interesting race, a very attrition-filled race in the very end. And Ryan, I'm really not sure where to put this race into perspective of the championship.
I think it was a great race, but it was just loads of attrition, and at the start of the race it was good to watch, and then halfway through it just kind of settled down, but apart from that, McLaren's put on a great performance from the back, and it shows why he's been a champion in the series.
Very much so. Interested in advertising with GSRC? Our channel's 1 million monthly global impressions are a great way to get your branding seen by a diverse audience. Follow the link in the description to learn more. As always, we follow up with the unofficial finishing order, which is being topped by Nicola Koch. It's a start to finish victory for him, led all the way, and just barely missed out on the fastest lap as well. At 12.6 was the fastest one for him. 11.7 was the fastest one for him. 4/10 slower than second place Mick Lerch, who went from 22nd actually to second place on the standing sheet. Antti Kerinen, he only lost one position. That's going to be a huge point boost for him in the F2 Championship, with Bill Talon in 4th. Gary Thiel in 5th, Chris Murakami in 6th, Sebastian Tixier has finished in 7th place, and also the last car on the lead lap already, with Janne Lehmann 1 lap behind in 8th place, Andrew Eng 3 laps behind in 9th, and 4 laps down, Thierry Rousselet finished in 10th.
Yep, finishing in 11th was David Rossi, Pekka Risto finished in 12th, 13th was Colin Bentley, John Van Dormen's 14th, 15th was Emmanuel Pereira, 16th Dave Cohen, 17th was Trent Boozy, 18th Donald Peake, Rob Bolick 19th, and rounded out at 20 was Alessandro Parigi.
21st went to Gary Anderson in the very end, with Eric Lukel 22nd, 23rd to Reggie Jensen, and there is Bruno 24th, and Robert Reynolds was the last car to finish here today, although he only managed to do 3 laps in the very end. First one to talk to us, it is actually Nicola Kochi, the first victory, I think, for you, Nicola. How did that one feel to you?
Hey, hi guys. Yeah, it felt pretty good, but scary as well because I didn't expect it to be this dangerous with the traffic during the race. But it was. I almost like end my race twice, and so I just like really, really understood here what's were the difficult parts and just like try to stay out as much as possible as issue because I was lucky enough that Mick and Rob did have some issues at qualifying in the back, so I had a little bit of room, so I could play a little. I could play with it. So I just thought that it wasn't worth it to go for I don't know like fastest lap or just like trying to keep my pace up and absolutely risky to put into the wall or into another car.
Well, we all know that Charlotte is a little bit of a marmite in the iRacing community. You either like it or hate it. Where on the scale are you there?
Well, I think I like the track. I mean, like hot lapping, because this is another drift track for my perspective. So I really liked to drift this car around and always be on the top of the limit of the grip and just like uh, turn it with the throttle and stuff like that. So I really like this kind of track, and this have like a vibe that remembers me Monaco because it seems almost like a street circuit. So it's very different to what we are used to. But hot lapping is good, but racing is kind of dangerous because when you have some car in front of you that is way slower than you are, it's going to be pretty difficult to understand each other and just make safely the overtake. So you have to have like force eyes and see what everything that is going to happen around you, and that is the most important part to racing this track, other than pace and everything else.
Well, talking about street circuits, how you fancy your chances at next week's venue? It's the Montreal circuit.
Oh, Montreal, I like it very much, but I think that I always run there with the 79 and not with the 49. So not sure what you expect, to be honest. But as much as I concerned, it's a very nice track to race there. At least if you have a fast enough car, that's going to be pretty awesome.
Well, Nicola, congrats on your first win this season, and good luck for next week.
Thank you, guys, and I want to congratulate to Antti as well that have an amazing pace today, and I really sorry that we lost early race, Mick and Rob, for a different reason, but I'm sure that I would not be like as close as to win this if they were like alongside me. But anyway, yeah, thank you, guys. See you next round. Bye.
A very humble Nicola Coach, your winner of today's race. Ryan, now talking to Mick Clouch.
Yeah, Mick started in 22nd after a bit of a disappointing qualifying, but he put on a brilliant performance to come through the field and finish in second place. And Mick, I guess it's not a win, but at the end of the day, you must be pretty happy with that result considering where you started.
Yeah, not too shabby. I really enjoyed it. I probably enjoyed it a lot better than leading. It was unlucky for Rob. Rob should have been up there, obviously. But yeah, I jumped over the last chicane on the qualifying lap. I can't even remember what happened in the second qualifying lap. I don't know. And the whole race is a blur. I just remember passing Gary round the outside and into turn one somewhere, and he said something on the mic. So that was he was like laughing that I got him round the outside, and then I just remember the pass on Auntie down at the end of the bank in there. I just loved it. I loved every second of that race. It was brilliant.
Yeah, and they getting through the field, was it difficult for you, or is it kind of what was the plan from getting through the field from the back? Was it just maybe play a waiting game, be cautious, or just take the opportunities when they arose?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't play it cautious at all. I wanted to win it. I was looking at where Nick was, and I just knew that I wouldn't be able to get anywhere near him, But no, a couple of guys let me through here and there. You probably never saw it on the camera, but so they just want to concentrate on their own stuff, So, I don't know what you guys said. Mick, oh, look at this. Mick's got past 10 cars on that lap. About 7 of them would have let me through, So that's what happens, they just want to run their own race. But then when you get up, the thick end of it, you start getting to the Gary Teals and the Seb Tixias and these sorts of guys, and they won't let you through, and that's when it starts getting really good, But enjoyed every minute of that.
And this Charlotte Roval with the Lotus 49, what's your impressions? Is it a track you would like to come back to, or is it maybe one that you wouldn't like to come back to, or what's your views on it?
Do you know what? It is such a hard track. I say this every week. I repeat myself all the time. It's such a hard track to set up for because you have to be quick. You have to actually be quick on that second part of the banking. So that sort of calls for a high sort of spring rate in the car, which isn't really good in the infield. So it's like a real challenge setting the car up. And then it just produces loads of understeer, and you just have to be so patient to get around the whole lap, no matter what you're doing. You can push it just a small amount and that's it. You lose all your lap time, and then you can, then it creates, moments where I was on the outside of Ante on the banking, where I just wanted to, I didn't think I'd get around him there on the outside. Well, I knew I wouldn't get around the outside, but I just wanted the car there, just so he could see me in his mirror, and it just throws up stuff like that, what you don't normally get on a normal road course. So I actually love the place. And some of the corners on this track are some of my favourites on the service. Coming onto the oval, there's a little wall on the left. Maybe some guys hit it today. What you saw, if you can really get close to that, you get such a good run down the back straight on the oval. So there's a few corners that are like that. So I love the place. I would race here next week. It's really good track.
Good stuff. And before we let you go, Mick, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to? Any thank yous?
Do you know what? This is the biggest shout out anyone can ever give someone in this series. Robert Reynolds, aka Back Road Bob, won his first race in the Lotus 49 this week at Charlotte. So congratulations to him. And I just love the fact that he's won a Lotus 49 race now. And not many people can say that, really. There's got to be about half the grid who can't say that. So really well done to him.
Great to hear. Well, thanks for joining us in the booth, Mick. And again, congratulations on second place. We look forward to seeing you on track at Montreal next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, see you next week.
As that was the second place finisher, Mick Claridge joining us. And Steph, that was a bit of a trust fest, but on the other hand, it seems to be this Charlotte Roval has left a good impression.
Yeah, it most definitely seems like with Mick Claridge and Nicola Kochi, it has left quite some good impressions. Also, maybe with Mr. Robert Reynolds, who I don't think you can now still call Back Row Bob with winning a race. But either way, GSRC would like to thank the iRacing Esports Network for having us on that channel lineup to bring you the great shows on iRacing into your home. On top of that, we'd like to thank everyone on the track today for a great show, and especially the Lotus 49 community for contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Right now on your screen you can see all of the companies that provide us with their great hard and software GSRC uses to deliver you the best possible show. Additional thanks goes to June Lalonde, who provides us with her great masterpieces. See the screen for how to get hold of more of her great work. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, please visit us at Global SimRacing Channel.com. You can also find us on the social media platforms with Twitter with @GSR Channel, Facebook at facebook.com/Global SimRacing Channel, or on Instagram at GSRC_RAM. All of the upcoming races for our other series are now sliding across your screen, so check them out and mark them down in your calendar to not miss another second of exciting racing action. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, Sean, Ryan, and Dougie, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in as Nicola Kochi took away the victory here in virtual Charlotte. With that said, until next time, servus and sayonara, and as always, race hard, race clean, and I will see you on the track.